What is up, guys, and welcome to my first ever Versus series video where we get characters from different universes, or maybe even the same universes sometimes, and put them in a hypothetical fight with one another to see who would come out victorious. So for today's video, we have Kabal from the Mortal Kombat universe versus the Flash from the DC Comics universe. Now these are both speedsters in their respective universes. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to give a few minutes for each character to explain who they are, what they can do, what are their powers and abilities, and then ultimately come up with a conclusion to see who would win in a fight if there were to ever be one between these two. So we're going to start off with Kabal. Now something I need to get out of the way that I know a lot of people are going to call me on is the Flash would obviously win because he's way faster than Kabal. And that is true, as Kabal clocks in at about 1,800 miles per hour in speed. Meanwhile, the Flash clocks in at a nice 13.5 million kilometers per hour, or 8.3 million miles per hour. Now, just for the sake of this video, we're going to have Kabal and the Flash at even speeds, meaning they run just as fast as one another. No, not one of them is faster, not one of them is slower, and that is just to make this fight fair. However, it is interesting to note that in the game Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe, Kano did say that Kabal was just as fast as the Flash. So definitely a very interesting note to take. But anyways, we're putting them at the same speeds for this fight. So with that being said, let's continue. So who is Kabal? Kabal is actually a former cop turned evil due to a traumatic accident that happened in his life, causing his body and face to become burned. Now when that happened, I guess he gave up on the good life. He said, screw being a cop, I'm going bad. And he became evil and the villain, which ended up giving him quite a good amount of powers and even led him to join the Black Dragon criminal organization of Mortal Kombat, which is a pretty strong criminal organization in the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, like I said, he has speed-based powers, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of his physical attributes first. So the main weapons he has are hook swords and saw blades. Especially the hook swords, you could literally see him holding it in any variation of the character. And the saw blades are those circular disc blades that he throws at you in almost every Mortal Kombat game, which can be very annoying, pretty annoying. Next up, we have his fighting styles being Sunbin and Goju Ryu, which are two fighting styles I know nothing about, but I can tell you right now that they both kick ass, as Kabal kicks ass in almost every Mortal Kombat game. Now besides these attributes, weapons, and fighting styles, he actually does have powers using his speed, so let's go ahead and check that out. Now these are his signature moves. First up, we have Plasma Blast, which lets Kabal shoot a Plasma Blast at his opponent from his headgear. Then we have Raging Flash, which lets Kabal run past the opponent, spinning them in place, giving him a free hit. Next up, we have Nomad's Touch, which lets Kabal thrust out his hands towards the opponent and catches them in an odd field that draws both Kabal and the opponent to collide with each other. However, luckily for Kabal, only the opponent gets hurt. And his last move would be Ground Saw, which lets Kabal summon a blade from the ground that slices anyone that gets in the way. Like I said, a very annoying move in most Mortal Kombat games. Now besides his abilities and his powers, he actually has accomplished quite a few impressive feats. One of those being, and a lot of people don't know about this, but he actually killed Havoc, the Cleric of Chaos himself. Yeah, so I actually didn't know this until I made this video, but it is pretty impressive that Kabal managed to kill someone like Havoc, which, like I just said, is the Cleric of Chaos in the Mortal Kombat universe, which gives you a pretty good idea of how strong Havoc is. So that's definitely pretty impressive. And he's also killed Mavado, which is a lesser known character, but still pretty important to note. And he was actually a member of the Red Dragon criminal organization, which opposes the Black Dragon criminal organization that Kabal belongs to. So he's killed both of them, Havoc and Mavado. So definitely pretty interesting to know. He is pretty strong guy. He's a speedster, knows fighting, knows how to use hook swords and saw blades, has Plasma Blast. Definitely someone you wouldn't want to mess with on the side of Mortal Kombat. But that's it for Kabal. Now let's take a look at the Flash. Now obviously I don't need to give a backstory for the Flash, as literally everyone, at least over the age of 5, probably knows about him. But just in case you don't, let's go ahead and give a little brief explanation. So The Flash was a forensic scientist who one day while working on the job gets struck by a lightning, and that lightning put him in a coma for several months. After many months, he woke up from the coma caused by the lightning strike and woke up to find himself having unnatural, or should I say God-given, levels of speed. Yes, moving ridiculously fast, which is something I wish happened to me on any day. I would love for that to happen. Imagine being able to move as fast as a Flash. Like we said earlier, 13.5 million kilometers per hour. But for the sake of this fight, him and Kabal are at even speeds. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the Flash's list of abilities and powers. So this one, you guys are going to have to stay with me for this one because it's a bit more than Kabal's. But he has immense superhuman speed, stamina, reflexes, agility, endurance, and strength, intangibility and invisibility via molecular vibration at high velocity, time travel and dimension travel by running faster than the speed of light, electricity and lightning manipulation, accelerated healing, enhanced perceptions and senses, time manipulation, and sonic shockwave projection, just to name a few. There's actually much more, but that's just naming, I guess, the basis of his powers. Now, I guess something else, just like Kabal, that's very important to know are what feats has he accomplished, or better said, who are the Flash's villains that he has taken down? Well, his are pretty interesting. So a lot of them are actually speedsters, much like himself, just like these two, which are Godspeed and Zoom. Next up we have the other Zoom, which is literally the Flash's main villain, another speedster, and he has taken him down. Then we have a telekinetic, telepathic genius level ape, which is pretty scary in its own. Then we have a genius level human, not an ape, but still pretty impressive feat to accomplish. So that means a Flash could actually outsmart a genius. Definitely really interesting to know. Then we have a Bloodwork, who is like a giant monster guy who like controls blood. And then we have quite literally every member of the Flash's rogue gallery, such as Captain Cold, Heatwave, Weather Wizard, Glider, and Mirror Master, just to name a few. Now, these are all pretty impressive feats, and overall give a really good idea as to who the Flash is and what he could do. Now, however, the Flash doesn't actually use any weapons, as he doesn't really need to. He could literally control electricity. Like, what the hell is that? So the Flash uses no weapons, unlike Kabal, who does use weapons, and it's pretty easy to see why the Flash would use nothing. Now another, and this is a very important to know, and it's actually something that isn't mentioned often, and it is this right here. Now, in case you can't read it, this is the Flash explaining that he perceives time in something called attoseconds. Now, a lot of you don't know what that is. I didn't know what it was until I saw this. And that is actually the smallest measurement of time. As a matter of fact, the smallest measurement of time is 12 attoseconds, and the Flash could literally perceive time in 1 attosecond per time. That's like, and for anyone who has no clue, like if you're lost, basically the Flash could make 1 second feel like 1 day for him if he wanted to. A single second could feel like a day for him, which is pretty crazy that he experiences time like that, and you're gonna see why in just a sec. But anyways, that is it for the Flash. So now comes the big age-old question, which is not really age-old, a lot of people don't even care, but who would win in a fight, Kabal or the Flash? Well guys, drum roll please. Nothing? Alright then, well, let's just get to it then. It would be obviously the Flash, and I know a lot of people saw this coming, but guys, it is the Flash. Even putting them at even speeds, the Flash would win any day. Not just because he could control energy and electricity, time travel, dimension travel, phase through things, become invisible, superhuman speed, superhuman strength, but he also has that attosecond perception. And you might be like, okay, why is it important that the Flash perceives time in such a small quantity? And that is because that means Kabal or any villain would never be able to surprise the Flash in a real fight, because the Flash would be able to see anything coming. So if you think, oh yeah, the Flash could just be walking one day and Kabal just comes up running, just slashes him, that would never happen, because the Flash would experience him running, Kabal running to him in such a slow like time that he would have all the time in the world to react to Kabal or any movement being made on the Flash. Definitely the Flash would win 100% of the time. Like, I'm trying to calculate these fights as if, oh, maybe he could win 5% of the time, or maybe that character could win 30% of the time. But in this case, the Flash would win 100% of the time. Even with them at even speeds, the Flash would always win. And that is a fact, like, for sure. And that's just putting them at even speeds. In reality, the Flash is way faster, so you can already imagine the Flash would always win. But anyway, guys, that is it for the video. Let me know what you thought about it. Who or what matchups do you want to see next? Throw down any characters in the comments. Let me know who, where they're from, why they would win, why they would be a good matchup against that character. Definitely, I'm taking any suggestions at this point. This was a really fun video to make, and definitely expect more. So if you did enjoy the video or the content being made on my channel, please be sure to smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. And with that being said, I guess the only thing left to do is say peace.